Welcome back to another exciting episode of Full Circle. I'm your host, Odo Harmon Jr. As always, you can find me at Odo Harmon Jr. on your favorite social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and if you find me on anything else, I probably don't respond. If you're watching us today, you're probably noticing Jared is gone. Yes, he had adult things to do this week. Poor him, but that's okay because I have two new guests co-host with me this week, and I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves because they can do it far better than I can.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Francisco from the weekly FARcast. I am joined by my right-hand man, Mr. Ricky Ricardo. What's up, Ricky?
What up, bro? What up, guys?
What's up, Odell? Odell, first and foremost, thank you so much for having us, man. Ricky and I have been bursting at the seams since we found out that we were going to be doing this, dude. We cannot even describe how excited we've been so far, dude.
I am so nervous, dude.
Oh, man, y'all flatter me.
I have a bag right next to me, dude, in case I have to ventilate or something, bro.
All right, don't be. I told you, man, I was going to have you on. My apologies for taking so long, but they know y'all from the FARcast, but where can they find you on social media if they want to hook up with y'all?
Yeah, man, so basically for me, as far as I go, you can find me on Instagram at @GNR_Frank, same exact handle for Twitter, and at youtube.com/GNRFrank. If you want to check us out on the weekly FARcast, just look up the weekly FARcast on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and Podbean. And Mr. Ricky, my man's going to show y'all where he can find him.
Bro, honestly, since we're going to do something fun later on, I can put my stuff there, but it's not going to exist anymore, So I guess you can find me on Twitter at IamNemox. That's IAMYEMOX. I basically use Twitter for ventilation, just saying saying whatever comes to my mind. So, yeah.
All right, well, that's what's up. So, guys, please follow them. And if you're listening, watching, whatever, just check the description. You'll find all that information there. But anyway, that's enough introduction. So, last week was E3. It finally happened, E3 2019. We're missing some Sony, but some of the other heavy hitters were still there. They're bringing in Xbox was there with announcing, Project Scorpio, the new Xbox. No, Project Scarlet. And let's see who else is there. Bethesda, Ubisoft, they're all still there. But anyway, guys, what did you think of the show? What did y'all like? Me personally, the Banjo-Kazooie announcement was great because they announced the crap. I'm forgetting here. Golden Sun.
Dragon Quest Heroes.
Yeah, all of them almost. Yeah, 10 Dragon Quest Heroes, right?
Yeah, you got all the Dragon Quest Heroes. So I was like, dang, they went safe with it. But then they came back then with Banjo-Kazooie. That had me geeked. That was probably my favorite announcement personally. But what about y'all?
Man, I got to say, one thing that caught me off guard was Deathloop during Bethesda's conference. I thought that was a really cool game that they showed. It looks like it's going to be 1v1 PvP versus environment, kind of like if Hitman had PvP in it kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What they showed for Cyberpunk, come on now, Keanu Reeves. How can
how can you not say that? Yeah.
How do you even top that? And Nintendo's entire conference, like you said, just the way that they presented Banjo-Kazooie was brilliant. It was the best way to end the whole show, man. It was incredible.
Yeah. It was fun. I liked a lot, but the one that I've never been a Fire Emblem fan. Please don't hate me. But after I saw their video and I saw their Treehouse Direct, bro, I gotta say that I'm hella excited for that game. From all the games that I saw with her, I think I'm the most excited for Fire Emblem's Three Houses, just because how big the game is and how 500 people can play the game and not even one of them is gonna have the same experience. While playing the game because of all the characters that they're gonna have, and the fact that the whole game is it's around you having a kingdom and building up your kingdom, training your soldiers and whatever, and all the characters have intense backgrounds. So I'm just excited to fall in love with characters and then have them die in combat and not getting them back, bro. I can't wait to have that experience with the game because nowadays, you play games and I don't feel anything for the characters. You know what I mean? They die and I'm okay, moving on. So I'm ready to feel that void, I guess.
Man, I'm glad you said that because we were on some Nintendo love, but some other things I loved about the show was Watch Dogs Legion, and you're right about the whole they die. When they said there's permadeath, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna recruit this one character, fall in love with them. I'm gonna have my gangster granny, and then they're gonna die. They're not even gonna die in a good mission. I'm gonna be like driving, have
So
a real
safe.
bad wreck, and they're gonna be dead.
Just some craziness.
I'm gonna like throw the controller across the
Yeah,
room.
dude. I think the last game that I felt like that was Mass Effect 2, bro. On Mass Effect 2, I was so careful with the people that I wanted to survive, bro. And after that, dude, you know, there hasn't been a game out there where I'm like in love with the characters. I mean, I play God of War and that kind of game, but it's done, right? Like everybody plays the game and they have the same story, so there's nothing to like talk about. But when Mass Effect came out, me and my buddies were talking about how we like each characters and how in the end, you know, like might survive and like maybe he didn't. So I'm ready for the same thing, but like 10 times better because of how big Fire Emblem is.
All right, cool. Oh, I will say this though. My second favorite announcement was that Ori and the Will of the Wisps got a release date because I've been waiting for the game for it feels like 5 years now.
Such a beautiful
so thank
game.
you, Xbox. I heard rumors that was coming to the Switch, and I swear to you, if it would have came to the Switch, I would have threw my Xbox out the window. It would have been dead.
Dude, hopefully it will, man. Like every game, The Witcher is gonna be on Switch, bro. So I have faith.
Oh, the
yeah,
Switcher.
dude.
Yeah, dude. There we go. The Switcher.
The Switcher, dude. Yeah, man. Like that's gonna be crazy, bro.
I think one of my other like super favorite announcements, man, is definitely gonna have to be just Astral Chain. Well, not an announcement, but Astral Chains
my
looks
God,
so
bro.
legit.
Yes,
dude.
it does.
Like, I mean, but Platinum. I can't even remember the last time I played a Platinum game that I did not enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen the Treehouse
Man, you know what?
event?
No,
The Treehouse for
no.
Astral
Bro, you
Chain.
can create your character. You can use your motorcycle and drive the motorcycle. You're like in this open world, like in the city, bro. Like my Nintendo just keeps bringing like amazing games, bro. And I'm feeling very sad for Sony and Microsoft right now.
All right, I need to say this before it gets too late. We are not endorsed by Nintendo. Nintendo pays me no money.
They should.
We here at Full Circle Podcast. All right, guys. So what are my favorite things that's not Nintendo before people start calling us biased, which we might be? Again, I receive no money from Nintendo. Paid for by Nintendo.
You know, despite a lot of the criticism that you find on the internet right now, I gotta say I enjoyed what I saw from Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, me too, dude. Yeah.
A lot. Like what I saw was very hopeful. And, you know, people were griping and harping on the game for having alpha footage that didn't look any good, per their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, when we were talking in our last episode with the guys, we were talking like, hey, look, they probably had this footage ready for quite some time.
Yeah.
This wasn't footage they put together the day before their EA Play event. Like, there's no way that Respawn, a reputable developer, and even EA, as much people hate on them, even EA wouldn't put out a product that looks like that ever. And I mean, just Star Wars. I mean, who doesn't love Star
I think
Wars?
that was for the
Period.
Star Wars Celebration, bro. And they just recycled and never used it there and used it on E3, I think.
You know, I never understood when people get mad at alpha footage, like whether it's Pokemon or the Avengers game, so on and so forth. It makes me more excited. I'm like, whoa, if the alpha footage looks this good or this polished,
Yep.
I know it doesn't look great, but it looks good considering this is alpha footage. I'm like, there's no telling how great the final product is going to look.
Absolutely.
So going off what you said, I thought it looked solid.
Yep.
Like if they would have said this is final gameplay, I would have been like, I expected this, but that's alpha footage. So I'm like, cool, it's going to get better. And I'm not saying it will be the next, Knights of the Old Republic, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a solid game.
Absolutely.
I give it it's going to be like a solid 7 out of 10 as it stands
I think
now.
people are just scared because the game is 4 months away. So in 4 months, you're showing alpha footage. And, from going to alpha to beta and then to full release, like to gold, it takes time, So that's why we think that that video was made a long time ago. And I don't know, people were also complaining about how they thought it was linear, and I guess they never read beyond that, because they did talk about if it's linear or not, and it's like it is not linear at all. That's just that was just a short sequence that they put out there, but what happens before, it's super huge. Like the scope of the game is huge.
So I have a question for you, gentlemen. So I was on the show floor, Sony wasn't there, and Microsoft has moved their showcase over into the Microsoft Theater next door. So E3 this year felt extremely empty. There were some other prominent people that didn't have a booth this year. And I just wanted to say to y'all, How did y'all feel about that without Sony being there? Even though they dropped bombs like, the Final Fantasy VII release date, they tweeted that out, which I thought was a power move, considering they wasn't at the show.
Yep.
But how did y'all feel this show was, from the perspective of watching it, seeing the videos, the announcements, and what y'all think is going to happen going forward? Is E3 in trouble or are we okay?
You can go, Frank, first.
Okay. So, I mean, the first thing I bought when I moved back to the United States was a PlayStation, so I love Sony. It definitely felt very different not having Sony there, because Sony is like part of the family. And what I mean by that is like, the family is all of gaming. You got Sony, you got Microsoft, you got Nintendo. Now you got a bunch of independent developers. So you're absolutely right. You're spot on, man. It did feel a little empty, but I don't think E3 is in any trouble. Like, people are so quick to get to like, oh, E3 is dead, or, to use GameStop for an example, with the struggles that it's having, it's like, oh, GameStop is dead. Like, with it being open to the public and with people still making games all the time, it's not going to die anytime soon because it's a huge advertisement for video game developers and for publishers. So that first things first is like, that's not going to go away anytime soon. I think Sony will make a comeback to E3, and of course that'll make it feel a much more enriched experience. But as long as games are being made and as long as there are games to be played, E3 will continue to exist. Is it going to change? Absolutely, and it has to. Gaming's changed since we started playing games, and for E3 to survive, it has to change along with that. Whether that means that E3 no longer becomes so much of a centralized physical event, but more so of an experience where, hey, we're going to go over to the Microsoft Arena for Microsoft's presentation, and we're going to go over to, to the Sony State of Play stream for, Sony stuff, and Nintendo Directs for their stuff. It'll probably evolve into something like that, but I don't think E3 is in any danger of dying whatsoever.
I kind of feel a little bit, okay, so this is the thing for me. So when Sony announced that they weren't going to be there, they said that they were not going to be there, not because they didn't have anything to show, but because they were doing their own thing. Now, does that mean that they're not going to come to E3 and now they're going to have their own conference like every year? We don't know because they haven't talked about that. But what I do know is that I feel like it needs to change in terms of, I would like to see what Nintendo did. Just show me, we could go to their halls, see a video of what is coming, and then after that, because everything we saw from Microsoft and from Bethesda and from EA and from Ubisoft were all cinematics, dude. Nintendo did, and Square Enix, they both did perfect at showing us cinematics, gameplay, and then they even talked about how the game plays, like Final Fantasy. They went through the whole combat mechanic, and on the Treehouse Direct, dude, they went through every game, and they talked about how the game plays and everything, dude. I feel like that's the best way to go. If you have a game to show me cinematics, show me gameplay, and then please, explain a little bit of what we are seeing. So I feel like it has to change. I feel like they're all, because it's also like cringy, bro. When you go on stage and you have to read something or you have to memorize something, even, I don't know, for me, it feels better and it feels more, I guess, like better quality, if you do like Square Enix or Nintendo. Just show me a compilation of videos, and then after that, just talk about them. And yeah, I feel like that's the best way to do it, dude, honestly.
Oh man, I feel that. One, that's why people say Nintendo ones, because they just brought the gameplay.
Yeah,
they brought gameplay upon gameplay, and oh man, they announced Breath of the Wild 2. Don't know if it's going to be called that, but they announced that, and Nintendo, I guess, was honestly the first to do it with their Direct when they stopped having their own press conference, but their presence at the conference is still huge. So, if we all went to just digital presentations, if that means, we got bigger and better booths, I'm all for it.
Yep.
I don't know if E3 is in trouble, but, what Frank was saying, it does have to change. I personally think it might benefit more from going back to private. Both the money they make from letting the public in, I highly doubt that because, money rules the nation, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's definitely going to be interesting to see E3 5 years from now because it might be completely different. I heard there was a rumor that Penny Arcade was actually putting out a bid to buy it from ESA or ESO, whoever owns it now. So that'll be interesting to see the PAX people owning E3, what they would do to it. Would it just be a giant PAX?
Oh my God.
Or I don't know, just
that would
very interesting.
That would be huge, man.
Yeah, so that's a rumor that I heard. And if that's like a super extra rumor that no one's heard yet, you heard it here first on Full Circle. But
There you go.
which I think they might do a good job with it because they have experience running packs. They have experience dealing with the public and the private sector of it and making it work.
Right.
So that might be a plus. But who knows? Who knows at this point?
Well, Odell, if you may asking you a question. I mean, you were there, man. Like, what did you notice anything different as far as being, because watching it from home is very, very different than actually being there in person. So, like, what did you notice with the absence of Sony and how the show itself is starting to slowly evolve?
Oh, man. So one of the things was, so this year they finally had a good 2-3 hour blocks when press can enter versus the public. And that helped a lot with the flow. But since, Microsoft is in the building next door, Sony wasn't there. In the West Hall, where usually the big three are, it was pretty much just Nintendo, followed by smaller indie booths all around it. And it felt weird in the sense that I could see the walls. Normally, I could never tell where the halls end because everything's in the way. It's like a big spectacle.
Right.
And it was kind of like being at an amusement park where there's just one big roller coaster and then kiddie rides.
Okay.
And so Nintendo stood out, and it just felt like, whoa. And you actually have more room to breathe. I've been for past years, it's like, oh, there's so many lights, sounds, appointments running around like crazy. And this year, it was more manageable. I got to play pretty much every big AAA title there, and that's never happened before.
That's awesome,
Nice.
dude.
So, I mean, that part was cool, but it was definitely like, it's kind of like, you remember Astro here in Houston, like, it was cool, and then slowly they started to take away more and more and more until it wasn't there anymore.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's not going to be there anymore, but definitely there was a void. There was a clear void of, like, my favorite ride is gone, my favorite restaurant's not here anymore. It gave you the feel like they're tearing down my old neighborhood. Like, where's all my cool stuff?
When the king is not there, dude, people notice, bro. When Sony's not there, dude, I'm pretty sure people notice, man.
Ricky is very biased.
Oh, bro, Sony, bro. They have the exclusives, man.
They do have the exclusive.
This is true.
Xbox is trying. I give them that. They're buying these indie studios, owning them, and they dropped Game Pass, which the new Game Pass, which I was like, whoa.
Yep.
Because everyone's talking about Stadia and all this stuff. I personally think Stadia is going to be a bust, but hey, we'll see.
Oh, that hurts.
I
dude.
like him now more, dude. I like him more than you, man.
So, great bring up though, man. I gotta say, Microsoft has stepped up their presentation over the last two E3s, this one and the one prior to it, and it was very nice to see Microsoft. I think that they slightly dropped the ball because, in my opinion, prior to their presentation this year, this was their opportunity to just come out swinging, man. Like, okay, well, Big Papa Sony's not here today, so now we're gonna own the show. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, they showed some great things, dude. And let me tell you, I've never played a Halo game in my life to completion, but oh my God, that trailer for Infinite was a thing of beauty.
It was.
And I think they kind of just were a little shy on the details on, Scarlet and Project xCloud. But I got to give props to Microsoft, man. As a self-proclaimed Sony, fanboy myself, like, Microsoft, I think, is making the right decisions and taking the right kind of pacing to get everything out to the public right now.
I agree with that, and I don't agree with it in the sense that at the press conference, I was like, man, this is some really dope stuff. But then part of me also realized how much of this stuff is also going to be on PlayStation.
Yeah, that's the thing.
yeah.
That's the thing.
Oh,
the
yeah.
only two games that for me, personally, that they showed was the same thing, Gears and Halo. Besides that, everything else was coming, almost everything, was coming for...
Bleeding Edge is an exclusive to them now. They own
Is
Ninja
it? I thought it
Theory.
was,
Or it might
okay.
be like on PC as well.
Yeah.
Now they're
but
doing the Game
that's
Pass.
pretty much them.
Is that the 4v4?
That's the 4v4 multiplayer.
Bro, who cares
Ninja
about
Theory
that?
game.
Like when you have like...
That's the half Apex, half
see,
Overwatch.
there's so
Hey.
many games like that out there that you just don't know which one is going to make it and which one's going to die.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree, man. But when you look at Ninja Theory's track history,
Yeah.
and their trends with gameplay, man, they put out solid gameplay. So,
But the game...
I'm hopeful.
But are they like the ones developing the game, or I think they bought?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is Ninja Theory's new game, dude.
Okay. Well, I don't know, dude. I just know that Cyberpunk, was the best that they showed, and it's coming for,
Everything.
even Switch. I don't know. I'm joking. I'm joking. I don't know. I wouldn't doubt it, dude. But no.
All right. So, guys, we've been talking about pretty much what we love. where did E3 fall flat for you this year? I'm gonna go ahead and say, everyone was saying the Switch Lite and the Switch Pro was gonna be announced, and I was on that bandwagon too.
Really?
They're not. They didn't announce the Switch Pro. They didn't announce a Pokemon Sword and Shield Switch. So no upgrades to the Switch this year. It seems like. So I was upset about that. I was also upset with the fact that, me personally, I felt that 90% of the games that were announced, we already knew were coming out.
Yeah.
Yep.
There were of course, there were things like Deathloop and the Tokyo game.
What's
it called?
Ghostwire Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Yeah, dude, that looks
Ghostwire
legit.
Tokyo.
Beautiful.
Yep.
And it, even like Watch Dogs Legions, we already knew it already got leaked. So
Dude,
it
yeah.
just, when I was at the show, I was like, man, I am not seeing anything that I didn't already know was gonna be here at the show, which always kind of sucks because E3's the time I'm like, oh crap, stuff I never heard about, special announcements, and even games that we know are in development, like we didn't hear anything of The Last of Us or Metroid Prime 4. We got a little snippet of Animal Crossing.
Yep.
So even like the big games that I know are coming out, we didn't even hear from those. So they kind of fell flat for me there. Everything was just like a rehash of stuff we already knew.
Yeah. I think that this E3 is the unfortunate victim of the fact that we're kind of in between console generations right now.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you that if we were to go back to the E3 in between PS3 and PS4, it probably would have been somewhat similar. Or maybe not, because sometimes towards the tail end of a generation, people are pumping out a lot more games. So, but then again, that could be like filler, kind of like in Naruto. But I think, and I love Naruto to death, man. But I think where E3 kind of fell flat, a lot of cinematic trailers for one, and I can understand their purpose and I appreciate their purpose, but at the same time, for me, I'm the kind of person, as a consumer, as a person who plays and buys video games, I want to see what it's going to play like, and that's an unfortunate thing, but I don't think that's really E3's fault. But maybe E3 as an organization should have like requirements or guidelines. Okay, like, yeah, you can show like 4 or 5 cinematic trailers, but in proportion to that, you have to show some sort of gameplay as well.
Exactly. It's like, every cinematic is going to look amazing. But then, so I was waiting for Gears gameplay. I was waiting for Halo, but I know that it's not going to come. But I was waiting for that Avengers gameplay. And I got to say, dude, from all the games that I saw with her, I was excited about that one. But once I saw how they look, bro, I just completely lost it. And then they started saying that the campaign is single player only, and then this and that, and I'm like, okay, I didn't see gameplay. The character designs for me personally looks horrible. Like they say that the game is a core co-op game, but the campaign is single player only. I'm like, okay, I'm lost. And they are saying that the game's gonna be like what is that called? It's a live service game, so it's going to have updates and then it's going to have expansions and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, if, we don't have a story-driven co-op game out there, dude. So I felt like this was the perfect time to make a Marvel game with amazing story that you could share with your friends. But I guess that's not how it is, Plus, I don't know if you saw gameplay or not.
I think they showed seconds.
You felt me in my heart. You hit me in my heart. It was like, oh. Yeah. Like I felt your disappointment.
Dude, yeah, I mean, bro, have you seen what is her name? The girl, Jesus, I forgot her name. Widow.
Black Widow.
Bro, Lord Farquaad, man. Exactly, dude. She looks exactly like him. Yeah, dude. If you like look at 2 pictures, man, they look exactly the same. But I don't know if you got to play it, man, since you were there.
No, we got to see a hands-off demo.
How does it look?
And it looks just like the trailers, more or less. It's alpha footage, so it can get better, but it wasn't nothing to write home about. It looked funny.
Oh, funny?
And not the good way.
Oh my god!
But
that's
I'm pretty sure it looked, it was so bad that it was good funny.
Oh my god, man! That's sad. What about Cyberpunk? Did you play that one?
No. So they only let 1 person per team in. So someone else got to play it. He got to do an interview.
Amazing, bro. Amazing. Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
This is one of your Piers from the game Fanatics, right? I think I saw like the story post earlier today. That's really cool. That's awesome. You know where else E3 fell flat, dude? And then Ricky's going to clown me for this, man. But Square dropped the ball with me big time. Square Enix dropped it, like, huge.
Why?
Like, they did not... Okay, so you know how they had the different picture frames in the videos, and each one had a different color, right? Mm-hmm. They had this one very specific shade of green that, I kid you not, is the same color green from the cover of Soul Reaver, The Legacy of Kain.
Oh, my God.
And I swear on my life, dude, that for one split second, I'm like, oh my God, for some crazy reason, they're about to announce a reboot of this game. And when it never happened, I just leaned into my wife's shoulders and cried.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he talks about this like in every episode, bro. He just wants a game like that. And I kind of like, I mean, I feel the same way, but about Harry Potter. Like the RPG that was leaked a while ago, I was 100% sure that they were going to show it here, and they never did. Nothing was mentioned. So right now, I'm thinking that what we saw was just fake, dude, because it looked amazing. It looked really polished, but I haven't heard anything. So, yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you for your time joining me on this rainy day in Houston.
Absolutely.
And if it's not raining on Wednesday, then screw it. You don't need to know that. That's movie magic. But... can you let the people know one last time if they just joining us, where can they find you, who you are, why you love games, all that good stuff? The floor is yours.
Yeah, so my name's Francisco from Games and Recreations. I'm partnered here with my man Ricky Montanez here from Rapid City. You can check out our podcast, the weekly FARcast, FARcast, on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, and YouTube. I love video games because it has, like soccer, it has the power to bring people together in a world that constantly tries to keep dividing us from one another. And honestly, if it weren't for Kojima, I probably would have never played video games to begin with.
That was perfect, dude. I'm going to stay quiet. I can top that. That's good. I'm ready.
No, you got to tell me where to find you, man. Well, your pretty pictures.
Okay, so basically, my name is Ricky Montanez, and I'm from Rapid City, which is, I mean... it is gonna stop changing. Like that's gonna change soon, so I'm not gonna like talk about that. But you can find me at rapidcity.inc on Instagram, rapidcity_inc on Twitter, and my personal Twitter is IamNemox. That's IAMYEMOX. And yeah, bro, that's it.
And one last thing, Odell, once again, man, thank you so much for having us. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honor, dude. Like I said at the beginning, we've been excited about this for like the entirety of this last week, man.
No problem, man. Thank y'all for joining me. As always, we're all struggling it together. Hey, I'm not at IGN yet, so even when I am, feel free to join my show there. But, please check out their stuff. These two are awesome people. If you get tired of hearing me, that's some more, content from some more brown people that you should definitely check out because I love it. Anyway, I'm Ola Harmon Jr. You can find me at Ola Harmon Jr. And this is Full Circle Podcast at FC Podcast 23. Until next time, folks, Jared will be back, but we're probably going to have more guests in the future. Stay to look on that. Be blessed, everyone. See y'all later.
Peace.